Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people. Newman here, and I've watched way too much Cat Icarus. Good. The guy's good, so I'm not stealing that. It just popped into my head. But let's go back into what's here today. I'd like to thank all of you who have been staying around at my channel then for so many years. Thank you so very much. New content is officially coming then, where I am making myself, and I am scheduling myself to do so, making at least one new video every week then for this channel then, maybe more in the future then, just kind of depends on how much extra time I have, along with getting back to doing my additional channels, Newman Pro for Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. Several videos are very easy to produce, and I can get those coming out very fast for that channel, along with I'm going to periodically be going back to my VN Critic channel then, resolving that persona, in order to give you content ranging from all ages visual novels to 18+ visual novels, be they reviews, commentaries, and the whatnot. So feel free to subscribe to those channels then, if those pique your interest at all. Otherwise, back here on my main channel of Newman Productions then, we're going to have some fun, including anime-related stuff, and that brings me to the topic of today, the animated Godzilla movie, Monster Planet, as it will be coming out in Netflix later this year. And this is really what has stirred me up to decide to produce this content today, is now that I had the time, I wanted to talk about the animated Godzilla, particularly one bit, but first to give you a little bit of a history. My first exposure to an animated Godzilla series came in the form of reruns of Hanna-Barbera's classic Toon then. I was a huge Godzilla fan back early 90s then. I'd always want to get the VHSs then whenever I had the opportunity at like Hollywoods and Blockbusters, things that are essentially extinct at this point. I'd always get the actual movies then themselves when I had the opportunity then on VHS, but I was able to see this reruns on television, and it interested me to the point. I mean, it was essentially Godzilla as a superhero, you know, who would get called by the push of a button, or be called by Godzuki's horrible crying, like, It sounded really sexual for some reason. There must be the adult mind now taking that into account. And it came out in the 70s then, which actually, now that I think about it, came out the same year as when the first Superman movie came out. And Superman and Godzilla both have heat vision, and in fact are able to repair walls with either the heat vision or China wall repairing vision. And they have ties to Warner Brothers, so oh my god, Godzilla vs. Superman, totally confirmed! The version of the Godzilla animated series that tried to make up for the atrocity that was Sony's 1998 Godzilla. And I have to admit, they actually did a semi-decent job in repairing some of that damage, giving Godzilla back his atomic breath, very well indestructibility then, giant monster battles, and even, in fact, putting Mechagodzilla into the mix. In fact, probably even gave Toho, to no official confirmation, the idea of building Kiryu out of Godzilla's bones then, essentially as the core. So I have to give that animated series actually a lot of credit for what it did. Now this new series that's going on Netflix then later this year, I'm trying to reserve any of my judgment then, simply because I understand that it's supposed to be the first in 2 other movies, so 3 movies in total then that are going to be taking place 2017, 2018, and 2019, all leading up to 2020's Godzilla vs. King Kong, at which point Toho will have the ability then to go ahead and remake, or at least the plans are, it's not confirmed as if they can't make a live-action Godzilla, but I do believe that they're going to hold off making any more live-action Godzillas until after King Kong vs. Godzilla gets released, since they do have the distribution rights for Japan when that movie comes out. So it's kind of a way to not overlap too much on big-budget live-action films. I'm trying to. I'm honestly trying to, but the new trailer then and the announcement about Godzilla's sort of origin and composition has really pulled me in to the point where I don't think I can hold off prejudging it to at least some degree right now. For those who don't know, Godzilla is a freaking plant. And people say, oh, he's got metallic muscle fibers. Go like, no. Right now, all we really have is the confirmation that he's got a plant origin. His body does resemble, it's the muscle fibers, but I actually see that as more roots, trees, bending, It can't account for his size. But it really feels like what they are going to do in this series then is throw people in a bunch of lab coats randomly together and say something like this.
Oh geez, you know this Godzilla thing? We need to classify it for the sake of science. So does anyone have any bright ideas? Well, it has claws and teeth, looks like a dinosaur, and breathes fire like a dragon. So I think that it should be a rat.
It's a plant. It's obviously a plant. Look at those perfect maple leaves on the back that even show off signs of veins. In fact, this creature probably is photosynthetic and uses the power of the sun to charge that destructive breath, expedited growth and regenerative abilities, along with thorn protrusions as defense mechanisms.
This man is a genius. Give him a Nobel Prize. Give him 10. How about a globe while we're at it?
You know, that actually wouldn't be too bad of a concept, really, especially if they explain it exactly like that. If they do, I must just be so good at predicting things, and someone should hire me on their writing staff or something. I just hope they don't have that stupid, like, sunlight weakness that the villain from the Superman 4 had. Oh my god, I know exactly what Godzilla's new roar is going to be. Unfortunately, this feels like it's going to go that hardcore, you know, man versus nature kind of debate, big environmentalist animations that were very prevalent in the 90s, such as Ferngully, for example. Oh my god, if Godzilla fights a seductively singing Tim Curry fighting Godzilla, I am totally giving this movie a 100% no questions asked.
That's rather nice.
That's right, folks! Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, the real remake that we truly need in this dire time. Godzilla vs. Kong, that's nothing! We need Godzilla versus the embodiment of all the devastation we're causing our planet Earth. In fact, let's throw an orange-painted Danny DeVito with Dr. Robotnik's mustache into the mix so that he can speak for him. I am the Lorax. I speak for Godzilla. And one last thing I want to bring into consideration is the character of Biollante. Now, making Godzilla a plant actually feels to me much like what Dragon Ball Super is currently doing with the non-canon character of Broly, and rolling him into Super then in the concept of Universe 6's Kale then and her Berserker form. Unfortunately, this feels like an entirely lost opportunity on Toho's part, especially considering the plans for 2 more films then to roll over. I actually think what would be a really good prediction and really good concept is, in fact, you take the elements then of Kiryu, where the robot was built around Godzilla, and some people are saying, hey, the muscle fibers are metallic. Perhaps this Godzilla that we're going to see in the first animated movie is actually going to be more of a Biollante type Godzilla then. Considering Biollante was formed from a combination of plant and Godzilla cells, I could see this as being essentially the same thing. This Godzilla is actually a plant form around the bones of an ancient Godzilla, ancient Godzillasaurus, something on those means then that continue to exponentially grow, considering it is in fact a plant and they have the ability to continue to grow very well. So I believe that it would be a great concept to have this as sort of that hybrid Mechagodzilla-istic vibe, and then at the end of the film, we have a reveal of an actual reptilian dinosaur, atomic breath-breathing Godzilla. And I think this could be that difference maker right here, is that the actual true threat, Godzilla, that's going to show up, that's going to learn to be friends with the humans then, going forward, and help them rid the kaiju then that are devastating the entirety of the planet then. That's the true that Godzilla that's going to show up, kick the ass of this plant version, this imposter version of Godzilla, and we are going to have some really good ideas then for the upcoming 2 animated films that are planned. So, I'm not trying to prejudge or anything. I did want to throw out a few of my own skepticisms there, a few of my own ideas that I hope will come true in this film, but we're not going to be able to see until it comes out, so I will try to hold any other judgments until then. But I'd like to thank you all for joining me here again on a little conceptual review of the upcoming Godzilla animated movie. Hope you tune in then for any future projects that are going to be released coming next week, and as always, like and subscribe, do a whole bunch of fun stuff, because maybe I can make money off this for once and I can stay around a little bit longer. So this is Newman from Newman Productions, signing out.